No, 0 minutes. I don't want to ever talk to you. I don't ever want to hear your voice to you. Please, God bless you, but please leave me alone. Please leave me alone. Stop following me. Stop. I don't. Stop stalking me. Please, I can't live here anymore because you stalk me. That's why I leave. Leave me alone.
I will. You talk to me for 2 minutes.
No,
leave me alone.
0 minutes. I don't want to ever talk to you. I don't ever want to hear your voice to you. Please, God bless you, but please leave me alone. Please leave me alone. Stop following me. Stop. I don't. Stop stalking me. Please, I can't live here anymore because you stalk me. That's why I leave.
I saw Dr. Russell for a year and a half, twice a month. Once in a while, it was once a month if our schedules just didn't permit, for an hour or 2 hours. She's a shrink. So, there's that. There's also this. This was a contact that was unwanted at my workplace. My allegations are Mr. Perry is a stalker. He's a peeping Tom. He's a hacker. He's cloned my phone. He tries to engorge in economic abuse and starve me until I lie. He's engaging in coercion, witness tampering, perjury, lying in court. And the thing gets weirder and weirder and weirder by the day. This is Cynthia Ortiz. It's the 10th of October. These are the Charles Perry Stalker podcast. They are to document the stalking, the witness tampering, Title 18 of the United States Code 1512 and 1513, the retaliation for my testimony for Mike and for reporting stalking. I moved twice to get away from Mr. Perry and not have a conflict. I'm going to do the disclaimer. Nobody's been found guilty in a court of law just yet, so use allegedly. Apply the but-for legal standard. But for Mr. Perry stalking me, I wouldn't document it with podcasts, would I? I have other things to do. And I assert all constitutional rights. First Amendment, and the right to not be, smeared again. Mr. Perry was recorded several years ago talking to Fabian and telling him, I'm going to find a way to put her back in jail, and she won't get out this time unless she's with me. You give up. In other words, what he just said is, I'm not hot and sexy enough. I'm not interesting enough. I'm bizarre. I'm strange-o. And she doesn't like me. So I'm going to have to kidnap her again. Only this time I won't let her go home unless she agrees to be grossed out and creeped out by me. Because she doesn't like me like she likes you. She'll just go with you. I have to actually kidnap her, go into a court of law, lie under oath, claim to be the victim of a political vendetta when there's not one political thing mentioned anywhere in 13 years. Boy, I'll tell you what, when I get pissed off, you're going to know it. You'll know what I'm pissed off about specifically. You'll know just how pissed off I am. I can rant like a motherfucker. And I do. So, were there some sort of political vendetta for a guy I helped get elected for the first time after having been in politics all my life, already having very well-connected people I'm connected to, Mr. Perry needed to meet? He got things turned around in his head and thought he mattered. And so, in other words, if I had gone to him for something and said, I would like you to pass a law that does XYZ in Texas, and he said no, I got like 100 people I was already working with before he ever popped out from under his rock and ran for office that I could have gone to for help. I didn't need him. He's got one of the smallest districts in Texas, 86% Republican. You got to be pro-life. You got to be pro-protection of marriage, and you got to be pro-gun rights, or they won't elect you over there. And that's fine. It's just that his district is not volatile or big, so he's not really going to be the target of something like Planned Parenthood. They're not going to waste their time on him. His district is too small, and it can't be flipped. If it were a bigger district, someone might go to the trouble of attempting to recruit a large company from California to bring their people into that district to try to change the voter demographics to be more Democrat. Right now they're 86% Republican. But because it's such a small district, it's not worth the time or money. If it were a bigger district, it's like 3% of the state. It's one of the smallest districts in the state. So you don't waste your time if you're Planned Parenthood or something for one vote in the Senate in that small of a district. You're going to go for a bigger district that you're going to try to flip it. You can't flip that one. It's not worth the trouble. It's too small. So even if it were something like that, which it's not, then, and I kept my mouth shut for 4 years. Only my closest friends knew, most of whom didn't live in Texas at all. So for 4 years, I didn't tell anybody. I didn't go to the news media with it. I went to his guy, and I'm telling his guy, I didn't hurt your client by going to the news media. You guys threatened to ruin my business when I start complaining about the stalking, the inappropriate behavior in public. So why are you threatening to ruin my business? It's not like I went to the media with this. I went to a couple of close friends that didn't live in Texas and said, in case he does something to me, because they're starting to threaten me now, in case he does something to me, I'm letting you know I got a problem over here. There's a guy that's stalking me. They threatened to ruin my business. And he's an elected person that I actually helped get into office for a reason. Couldn't tell them that then. But I didn't tell anybody but a few close friends, and they didn't live in Texas for 4 years. Then I moved. Then I moved again. Then I made it public because he just harassed and harassed and harassed. When I get it now, right now I'm doing some food delivery, Uber Eats, DoorDash, Grubhub. I signed up for all of them. So when I go get an order and I take it to somebody's house and there's a doorbell camera or some sort of home security, that's, and Mr. Perry had their buddy hack my, when he hacks my apps and has his buddy call an order, all of the drivers are chosen on algorithm, so they have to hack my app to get me. So when he has the guy take a picture to prove he's not a stalker, I'm going to take pictures of you everywhere you go, and then go into court and use that to prove I'm not stalking you. Well, I think that is what's stalking, because guess who doesn't do that to me? Dan Pope, Steve Massengale, John Steinmetz. They don't do it. They don't care what I do for a living, what I drive, and where I live, so why do you? See, you're a rejected fail. Fabian can call me and get a date in 5 seconds, and you can't. You got to go into court, take a bunch of pictures of me in Oklahoma. You live in Lubbock. Did you remember that? We think you forgot where you live and what state you legislate in and what your legislative duties are. What he did in January 2015, 16, is he went into court and said, what he did is he tried to kill me. And they were giving me arsenic and I was getting sick. I went and bought charcoal. There's a receipt on the docket to this day in, I think, all 3 civil suits. And where I went and bought charcoal. Because that absorbs poison and toxins and crap. And I'm trying to go to work. They're having guys come in and buy me a drink if I had to get up and go to the bathroom or do something, go on stage or something. And I'd come back and take a sip and I'd get a screaming headache and a metal taste in my mouth. Get real sick in my stomach. I threw up a couple times. I text David Robertson. I'm like, are you guys giving me fucking arsenic? And he texts back, yeah, yes, we are. I file a police report. If somebody's threatening you with death and false arrest, which they were, I've got emails and texts showing that well before they did it, then you need to get a protective order. And in the state of Oklahoma, by law, you got to file a police report or you can't get a protective order. And they knew that because the first one that I tried to get was denied in part because I forgot my police report. I had the officer's name and the number, case number. But the judge said Marler versus Clower, held by the Oklahoma Supreme Court, said you got to actually bring in the report. So they knew that. Perry goes in, doesn't tell the judge that. He says she filed a false police report in retaliation for my legislative duties. And Judge Hanson should have then said, first of all, I need to see the disposition of the police determination after they've done an investigation and like maybe a blood test to rule out arsenic poisoning. And I need to see some emails or tweets or something that is directed at you over frustration of a legislative duty. Because guess what I have? A shit ton of Facebook messages to my friends talking about stalking going back to 2011. 5 years before I could have anticipated what Mr. Perry was going to go into court and lie about. And he's trying to do it again now. We're going to send her home, harass the fuck out of her, mess with her money, hack her apps so she can't make any money, or rent out her club, or send creepy guys in so she doesn't want to go to work. It's scary for her. And we've already poisoned her once. What are we going to do next? Reasonable person with fear, sir. That'll get you arrested for stalking. It's a felony in Oklahoma. It's a crime, you dumb fuck. So, I understand you've called people and cried and went, oh, she's calling me Princess Cuckoo Bird. Oh, she's calling me a fucktard. And the guy was like, you know what the problem is? You've economically abused her so bad, trying to starve her until she lied, that she's sleeping in her car. And you killed the cop, and the other one's sitting in jail for something there's no way you could have done. I think everybody's really upset about that, not her being pissed off at you for putting her through all that and calling you names. And I think you need to grow a pair and act like a man. Because right now, I'm hearing you be exactly what she says. You're a girl. You're acting like a little fucking girl. Everybody gets rejected, and everybody else moves on. Everybody's very upset with you for what you're putting me and Michael Neely through, sir. Not me calling you Princess Cuckoo Bird. If you don't want to be called names like that, then don't act like one. And then tonight we hear you're telling people, I don't know who's helping her. See, we don't have leaks, sir. We don't have leaks, do we? And nobody will tell you shit. So because nobody will tell you anything, you have then taken that to make the determination that it's aliens from Roswell and the shapeshifters helping me. Put on your tinfoil hat. Wow. Then right after he says that, he's telling me you need to get in reality. Types it in my phone. I'm like, oh my God. You just said, right, Roswell, aliens from Roswell and shapeshifters are helping me because no cops will fess up to it. It's a need to know. You don't get to know. You're the offender. We don't have leaks. You do. Everybody's angry at what you're doing. We can get information because of that. Dumb fuck. So go cry to your attorney how I called you a dumb fuck. After you got into my wallet so bad, I'm having to sleep in my car. Okay? I can make money. These guys helping me know I can make money. They knew me when I lived at Chardonnay the first time and how good it was for me. How wonderful my life was then, and I was making good money. They sat there and watched me do it. They work with me even now. I did this sting up. They were pretty fucking impressed. I did a sting up of Mr. Neely's attorney and the Florida State's attorney. They were pretty impressed with that as well. And by the way, I heard about you guys got in touch with a former neighbor of mine, Angelo Giordano. And he tells you, I don't know how she knew, but she knew. None of them asked me, how did you know? None of them. Not Angelo, not Gene Mitchell, not Travis Myers. How did you know something was wrong? Yeah, see, and you don't get to know that. By the way, you were also talking about we need to get her to put a bumper sticker on her car. How do you know I don't already have a bumper sticker on my car? We need her to differentiate between the other cars that look similar. Well, how would you know whether or not I have a bumper sticker on my car, and what business is it of yours? See, you have a lot bigger things to worry about right now than that, you dumb son of a bitch. You should be worried that I know you said that. You're not all there, are you? And the more you guys fuck with me, the more we get. And it's not shapeshifters. I didn't even know there really was such a thing. I'm watching Hulu, right? Kristen Chenoweth is doing a thing on these three girls who were murdered at the Girl Scout camp. And they thought one of the guys was a shapeshifter. And they even said that was nuts. It's not real. They're not real. It's a myth. If there is such a thing, I've never met one that I know of. Roswell aliens and the shapeshifters are helping me. You need to get in reality, he tells me. That's what Charles Perry's telling me and everybody else. We think it's the Roswell aliens and shapeshifters helping you. You need to get in reality. And I'm like, oh my God. I need to get in reality. First of all, do you hear the words that just came out of your mouth? Go get tinfoil and put it on your head. Because I'm going to tell you from Roswell, being from Roswell, the aliens can read your mind. You don't want that, do you? So there's that. Anyways, so if he has somebody from his buddy that has a doorbell camera or some kind of home surveillance, by the way, I take pictures of all of that and it goes to my attorney. My attorney gets all of that. There's only 2 people that have access to a Dropbox file, and that's in those 2 have it. And they can get in there and look, and if it's a they can go, well, she lives in Oklahoma and he's in Texas. Why is he using her app for work? She's going to work doing normal things normal people do. It's not illegal to deliver food, last I checked. So if he has a picture of her doing her normal job, not bothering anybody, why would he have that? He said he's not stalking her. So we're going to get a bunch of pictures to prove we're not stalking her in Oklahoma. Kind of like you sent this dude in to solicit prostitution. You want, I can't get a date the normal way. So what I'm going to do is offer you $5,000 for 2 hours of being creeped out. The guy said. Right? And you tell Fabian. Fabian can make a phone call. He gets a date. Just like that. And you can't do it. You're not attractive. You're a repulsive piece of trash. I can't figure out how to get women to like me. I hack, I peep, I get creepy, I take all their money, I ruin their lives and their relationships. Why don't they like me? I only date normal dudes. I don't date guys that peep and hack or break the law. I don't date guys that kind of try to make me do it too. You're asking me to do something illegal and break the law, and I'm telling you, comply with the law. Just like that, comply with the law. Everybody else does, why can't you? You failure. And I ruin your relationships. I take all your money. You're sleeping in your car. You have no place to live. You're starving to death. Why don't you like me? I only go out with men who make sure I don't miss a meal. There's been a lot of men that I've been with, Mr. Perry. It didn't take 13 years. 13 years, you can't even get a fucking phone call. I think at this point it's safe to say you're not going to get a date at any point. And guess what? They got one right away, pretty quickly. Saeed didn't. Saeed got one right away. My ex-husband got one right away. But they made sure I didn't miss the meal. And they were normal. They didn't cross boundaries. My ex-husband didn't know who half my friends were. For sure shit didn't get on the phone and call them all. He didn't even know my family. You know, the last time my family remembers me in a happy, fulfilling relationship was with Saeed. They watched me. They watched me interact with him and him with me. They saw we cared about each other very much. They didn't see me with my husband because my husband and I were living in Vegas and we were busy raising 2 little boys. So we didn't have a lot of time to travel and crap. And my family lives here in Oklahoma. But before my ex-husband, my granddad saw me with my ex-husband. We were happy. My ex-husband didn't do the weird shit you do. Saeed didn't do the weird shit you do. No guy that I've ever dated anywhere or been with intimately did the weird shit you do. So you can't figure out, maybe you're doing it wrong. You don't get a woman starving her to death. Do you understand me, weirdo? Or peeping and hacking and calling friends and family and bullshitting. So when you go around telling people, oh, I like her, nobody believes you. You don't ruin somebody's life if you like them. I only go out with men who make sure my career succeeds. And they don't cross boundaries. And they're not creepy. It's illegal to hack and peep for a reason. Dumb fuck. It's repulsive, deviant conduct that offends everybody. Are you gay? We keep hearing you're gay and trans. And that's just now starting to kind of come out with some of the stuff you're doing to me. That's the other thing. I've got friends that are gay and trans. They wouldn't hurt you for anything, for sure not on purpose. Whether you're gay or trans or straight or whatever it is you are, pink, gray, black, yellow, it's not the point. The point is you're hurting people. And if the causation for you is some kind of sex weirdo problem, the crime causation for you, Go see a shrink and stop bothering us with it. This is the other thing at my work where I am. I don't go where Charles is. I hate Texas. I won't go to Texas. They're trying to kidnap me back there. Even after we get a recording of some guy saying he's trying to use her family to kidnap her to Texas. She don't want to go to Texas. He's trying to fucking use her family to do it. Even after you knew we had that, you still tried to use my ex-husband to do that to me. Let me tell you something. The show Reba and the show Adventures of New Christine, I've told my ex-husband, I don't know how many times till I'm blue in the face, that is how this is going to be, or get out. It is going to be just like that, because that's healthy. And that's what our son needs. And if you can't deliver, get the fuck out. And don't bother me again. You be a man. Or don't bother me again. And it's just like that. My guys are pissed at him. I'm not even going to get into all of that right now. But he was helping you. We knew that. I pretended like I didn't know that. I've got emails going during the whole time he was doing that shit for y'all. And I knew it and I never said a word about it. I'm very good at what I do. This is one of my sting-ops. When you sent a fucker into my work. Because you like bothering me at my work. In Oklahoma. You intend to cause an injury. You use the resource of our state to do it. You do it all the time. You seek benefit from Oklahoma. You derive benefit from Oklahoma. You cause an injury in Oklahoma. Now, go again into a court of law, when I'm not there, of course, to show what I have, and tell any judge, you don't have jurisdiction, Your Honor. Oklahoma has no jurisdiction. Do that one more time, you stupid son of a bitch. I dare you. I dare you to do it one more time. Now, listen to this. Transcripts are here. Anybody can read through. How many times did they say you might be wearing a wire?
But I'm not his girlfriend. He's delusional. You keep telling me I've been with other chicks. I can't imagine. Okay, but what you're telling me is the senator told you I'm his girlfriend and I'm not his girlfriend.
I'm telling you,
You're under the impression.
I'm not about it. You are. So, anyway.
No, but how am I occupied?
I can't get it.
I'm not in a consensual relationship. Listen to me. I am not in a consensual relationship with this man. He is crazy. I don't like it. God.
If you're beautiful, let me give you some advice.
Go ahead.
Take that picture of your face for it. I'm going to leave it at that. Give me a hug.
All right. Thank you. What is it? Oh, I'm suing him.
I'm serious on that. Look at me. Take it for everything's worth. Yeah, I just want to go to job.
Take all his money, try to be his girlfriend and take all his money. But I don't like him. He makes my skin crawl. Like, literally, I couldn't let him touch him. It would make me vomit to touch him.
What you ain't do is put him in his place
Right?
and have somebody there to back you. And you'll come out a lot stronger.
How do I put him in his place?
I can't get into that right now. You got a wire on.
I don't have a wire on.
So, you need to have somebody that back you
Right?
and don't give a shit. And put him in his place and tell him what's what. And that's a wrap.
When you sue somebody and you try to get a restraining order, is that not sending a message? I don't like you. I don't want you.
Stop.
All right.
You can do the underground one.
Do what?
You can do the underground one.
Well, if I do that, I could go to jail for...
Okay, you heard him say, stop. When I'm saying something that makes sense. Look, I'm suing him. I'm doing this the legal way. I'm attempting to address this through the court process, normal court process. And he interrupts me and says, stop. Bitch, David Robertson does that all the time. In fact, we heard him yelling and screaming at somebody the other day, and he does the same thing. You don't have to put up with that. It is very rude to interrupt that way, Mr. Robertson. And we know that's a telltale common MO of David Robertson when you're saying the right thing and he didn't want to hear it. You caught something and he didn't like it. So keep that in mind. So I switched the page. This was on pause for some reason. So this goes through Justice Scalia. They sent me home and they're deciding they're going to harass me. And then when I complain about it, they're going to say I'm harassing them. Justice Scalia is a First Amendment guy. During that time, they make it like we're all, Justice Scalia dies over there while they're planning that. And William O'Ritchie, the murder cop, commander of murder cops in D.C., says that why wasn't protocol followed the way that it would have been had he died in D.C.? And what something's fishy about that, and he's not wrong. So I'm trying to see. So for Officer Neely, I filed a police report on vandalism. Didn't know who the offender was, but could be stalking related. This is what he's questioning, why is it fishy? If it quacks like a duck and walks like a duck, it's a duck. Smoke, there's fire, right? So why wasn't protocol followed, Josh? I did this also. Yep, so we think we're here, we're going to tell you. Hang on. Yep, there was something fishy about it. So I filed a motion to intervene for Officer Neely because he didn't have a mark on him. He's drugged. Gene Mitchell is... this is a good page to look at. It's got a lot of information on it. This is my depot, or sting op as I call it, of Gene Mitchell and Travis Myers. Travis Myers, the Florida State's attorney, asked me if I'm a cop. What do you do for a living? I'm a dancer. Are you a cop? I'm like, I don't have, no. But I don't have to tell them if I am. I wasn't even sworn into this. They could take me off the books, put me right back on as soon as I was done. Once I see this is not on the docket, I file a motion to intervene for Officer Neely. There should have been a hearing to see if I had standing to file such a motion. There was no hearing. It's still sitting out there on the docket like a meatball. So there's this one too. And then the other guy that came to my work, there was a bunch of them, but their texts are here, was this Mickey James guy who says it might be worth the risk of a suspicion we saw with Gary Condit and Chandra Levy if he kills you. Right here. Came to my work. Kind of like we'll have our buddy order DoorDash or Uber Eats or Grubhub and get a picture of her on our doorbell camera. It's all chosen by algorithm. You'd have to get past that algorithm. So we take pictures of her to show we're not stalking her in Oklahoma. Mr. Perry can't identify his legislative duties or what state he legislates in, can he? It's not in Oklahoma. It's causing some injury here. If you read that, it'll freak you out. You heard Pinto. I mean, that was a weird conversation. And then we get, let's see. So this right here is the McNamara email. Everybody's seen it. It was sent in October. Charles was trying to do a false arrest, which he then did months later in January. And that's, again, protocol's not followed with Justice Scalia's death. Protocol wasn't followed when I turned my police report into Tulsa Police. They sent it right to the offender. So who gave it to you, Charles? We want to know. We want you to answer that question. How did you get my police report? Because it was never investigated. I didn't turn... the officer calls me on February 15th. Didn't Justice Scalia die right around that time? Yep, and you guys... I filed the report on the 21st of January, and you put me in jail a week later. I'm put in jail by physical force prevented and delayed from the reporting the crime against me. They went into court and said, we have probable cause to believe because of my job as a legislator, She's filed a false police report. But nothing was investigated. The cops didn't even call me back till February. I'm already in jail. This was the 29th. I filed it on the 21st of January. And I had that email called the McNamara email. He's trying to find a way to false arrest me, which he did. So they come to me, can you lie? And I'm like, no, I'm not going to lie. But I'll stay quiet under one condition. Charles Perry never bothers me again, ever. I never hear a word from him. And that led to these bond conditions where I'm supposed to see a shrink. So you already saw what the shrink said. And he would never allow his name to be put in this without his consent. He admitted guilt. I'm stalking her and I'll stop. Agreed to stop. Knowing the whole time he was going to send me home, harass the fuck out of me, and then claim he was being harassed when I complained about it. See, you gotta have a police report. You must file a complaint against the stalker with law enforcement. He knew it, because this one was denied. Number 2, I didn't non-compliance with this law. That's what it was. I didn't have the police report with me. They knew. They did it anyway. There's that. And then on the 4th of January, it's not going to make him be not a stalker if he false arrests me or kills me. It's going to mean he is stalking me. So, keep that in mind. Here's the, are you giving me arsenic? Yeah. Phenobarbital? Yeah. Yeah. See? And I got a... somewhere in here I thought I had the... look at this. July 2014. I don't want a scandal. I want him to leave me the fuck alone. Yeah. These are all these. Let your life fade away. Yeah. See? I can't promise it's going to end without death and destruction. Ever try to kill me? There's my charcoal receipt. December 27th, 2015. Charcoal. I was taking it to try to absorb the poison they were giving me at work. I just started to go to work. He did it before in Lubbock, tried to poison me. I go on a date, I get home, there's some kind of weird substance on my counter. He got in my house. It's locked up. Bump key, pays the maintenance guy a little something, something, gets in my house. I opened the cabinet above where the liquid was, and it fucking melted a hole through it. And the bottom of this vitamins was melted. So you can see the plywood all stuck to the bottom. The one on the right is a new bottle, brand new, I bought it. This one was the one that was stuck. It was stuck onto the plywood. But right next to it, there was a fucking hole eaten all the way through the plywood. So, he had already tried that once. Here's the ones from Mickey James. I've watched behind the scenes. What you said last night. And then he's like, yeah, it might be worth it to kill you. And it looked like Gary Condit and Chandra Levy. Right? Look at this. Mr. Perry, I would like you to get out of my phone. All my phones. When you don't, we get more. When you contact me in any way, shape, or form, we all get pissed off about it because I asked you not to. And you do it anyway. So we get more. So don't get upset when we quote you. Is it the aliens from Roswell and Shapeshifters? Because nobody will tell me who it is. Maybe it's that. Yep, go get your tinfoil hat on. Okay? And then he's telling me, you're not going to win this. There won't be any charges in Oklahoma. That's fine. We got somebody else on it. Look at that. Did you see the blinking? Mr. Perry, get out of my phone. Mr. Perry, get out of my phone. Mr. Perry, get the fuck out of my phone. You don't have my consent to hack. Get out of my phone. Whack job. Get away from me. When you contact me, when you take 1 penny of my money, 1 minute of my time, but into one relationship you shouldn't even know about, we get more and more and more and more. Like we know somebody called Angelo Giordano. You want to get a bumper sticker for my car. What if my car already has a bumper sticker on? How do you know? Don't ask how I find out. Don't call around and then provoke and provoke and provoke and provoke. Get out of my phone. Get out of my life. The longer you're in it, the longer you make me broke, the longer Mike's in jail, the more we have gotten, sir. You can't spot a pattern after 7 years. They think you're mentally retarded, literally. Some of the stuff you say. One of the things he said was, and there we go again, blinked it again. So he's not gonna respect my rights and wishes, is he? Yep, and that's why you can't get a real life date, sir. This I got in jail. Mr. Perry's a wannabe, never the wanted one. He's just a butt-in, see? Oddly, I get this puzzle with, of all names, I'm gonna... Fabian's name on it. Intersecting with the word hope. Look at that. And then little butt-in here, wannabe, Mr. Please let me matter. Causing fear and sadness. The word boo, that's a private joke between one of the cop friends of me and him, going way back. They got that to me in jail. It's not some random name. It's Fabian's name, intersecting with the word hope. See? Who has that kind of power? These are texts the night David came in. I didn't wait a week. I mean, look at the date on that. That was the first night David came in, and I'm telling him what David said. Fabian. Fabian's name is on this puzzle, Perry. Not yours. You're just the butt-in wannabe. Never the one wanted. I'll find a way to false arrest her and kidnap her, because she doesn't like me like she likes you. Nope, I don't. These are all from 2011 about stalking. In case he does something to me, I may have to move. Nothing political here at all. I didn't hurt your guy by going to the media, Jordan. I went to you. Tell him to cut out the fucking weird-ass behavior. Pulling up behind my house. What? Those guys in Manford were like, you know how many times I've pulled up behind the house of a woman who is not my wife and watched her in the backyard? Never. It's weirdo. Yep. You know how many times I've told a woman who is not my wife to let her life fade away? Never. It's weirdo. You have no chance of a date with me, Mr. Perry. I've dated a lot of guys. I've been intimate with a lot of guys. They don't invade my privacy. They respect my rights and wishes and boundaries. You heard of boundaries? Social skills? You can't attract a woman. You can't do it. You don't know what women like. They don't like being starved to death, peeped on, raped, hacked. You call friends and family and cause problems and drama. They don't like financial problems. So you can't get one to like you. You gotta kidnap. You're not in, you're always the wannabe, never the one wanted. It didn't take anybody 13 years to get shit. I mean, golly, you're just, that should be a little clue. I just don't like you. So, we got all this today of, this is the polling. Hang on a second. When I say that, the reason we can get information as you can is because people don't like your crime and the suffering you're causing. They hate you guys. Seething hatred. We have no problem. You have leaks, we don't. So Perry thinks, because they don't have leaks and nobody will tell me anything, then it must be the aliens from Roswell and a shapeshifter working together. She needs to get in reality. Wow, okay. Go into court and say that's what it is. This is polling about how, second to inflation, the thing that people are concerned about is crime. Guess who spoke about that today? Tommy Tuberville, who doesn't like Lubbock. He just left. He didn't even dignify you people with a goodbye. They thought he went to the bathroom. He just got up and fucking see ya. I was hearing about it. They didn't want to be there. So anybody can look at that. The polling, one poll I saw said 72% of the polled people said crime is top of my list. I don't like crime. They don't like corruption, and they don't like crime. So there's that. So because people don't like your crime, we can get information, Mr. Perry, and you cannot. Like this. We've got one of our victims that we need to get out of Tulsa and back in Texas so we can do more to her to hurt her. The McNamara email. We're going to take her car away every day. Since 2019, you guys talk about ruining the engine, having me pulled over, find a reason to tow the fucking thing. On and on, wreck it. It's been wrecked 5 times in 3 years. You guys have people hit me. I'm not hitting them. 5 times in 3 years, right at the wheel. And, this one, they wanted to get her on harassment. They said they had us getting information on her car. Asked us to pull her over all the time and had us checking into allegations that turned out to be nothing. And wasted my time. I mean, get her a protective order, because it looks to me like the harassment's the other way around. You know how often she called us? Never. She didn't bother anybody. She didn't bother us. They bothered us constantly. There's an investigation from Josh into Josh Burson, Charles Perry, Matthew Powell, Joseph Chadwick, David Robertson, and this Calvin guy in Geppetto. That's how we found out Mike Neely was drugged. That's how I found out Mitchell was going to argue something that wasn't plausible, which he did. And he wanted to know how she'd know before I actually did it. How'd she know Mike was drugged? See? He was given opioids. Point out for me the marks on the guy. See, there's this police report, not an injury listed. Red swollen right hand. We're going to get to that. Look at that. He's got a fucking IV in his red swollen right hand. But Chief Miller was beat so hard back and forth, his head came off his body, and he died of internal decapitation. Your hands aren't going to look like that. They're going to look like his face looked. Bruised, broken hand, broken fingers, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, and then they're all like, it didn't make any sense. Because that's not what happened. They lied. 6 days after I filed that report, it looks like they tried to make her displaced. They did. This is my Gene Mitchell text. It's not plausible, Mitchell. I think you're full of crap. I think you guys have been talking. You know why I thought that? Because I heard a recording of him. Lawmen are supposed to relieve suffering caused by crime. That's the job. If that's not why you're a cop, you don't need to be a cop. That's the reason. My ex-husband tried to make me go to Texas against my will. I'm like, look what they did to me. I'm like texting him that email, the McNamara email. They did carry out this threat. They're going to kill me. I don't care. I don't give a shit. So what I've told my ex-husband is, for the mental health of our child, it's going to be like Reba or New Christine, or get out of my face. And don't badmouth me to my kid. I don't do that to you. I call my kid and I want to know how his life's going. I want to see how he's doing. I talk to him about good things. And then I don't bother him. I let him live his life. So why are you fucking taking an emotional dump on my child? He needs support. He needs everybody getting along. You need to act like a fucking grown-up and get along. And he, went asshole because Charles told him to. Coax her back to Texas. They got all these emails. He's going to use her family to kidnap her. Fabian, I'm going to kidnap her because she doesn't like me like she does you. Right. Because you peep, you hack. I told you I don't like that and you do it anyways. You take all my money. You smeared my reputation. You ruin everything good. Anything that should be easy takes 5 hours because you make a problem with it. And so, yeah, no, I don't like you. I need you like I need a hole in my head. Like the Jews needed Hitler. Not how you get a date. So when you called Fabian up and told him, I'm going to find a way to put her back in jail, and she won't get out this time unless she's with me. You need to give up. What you told him is, you're the hot, sexy one who's interesting because you work hard, and she likes you. She doesn't like me because I'm a weirdo, and I'm cruel. So I'm going to have to kidnap her, because she won't go with me willingly like she would you. She likes you, and she doesn't like me. That's what you told him. Right. He won, you lost. He won the heart. You didn't win shit. You won criminal charges about to hit you. Grand larceny with intent to coerce, interference with contracts, and commerce, David. You guys want to see... Oh, we want to look at her car loan. We want to see how long... What kind of contract... Get her kicked out of that hotel. There's no contract. Yeah, and then the guy's like, I told y'all not to do that. It's not just one thing. It's two things. It's not just a contract you're interfering with intent to coerce her to lie. It's commerce, the buying and selling of anything, you dumb son of a bitch. How many counts are they going to hit you with, David? When I'm trying to work and you have your buddy call in with a camera doorbell and shit? where I get I get no orders, or 20 that are upside down, same thing. Same fucking thing. So, I've told you, get the fuck out, or they're about to do it for you. Since you can't act like a big boy. Our guys are like, Mr. Perry's gay. That's not a crime, but it is a crime if it becomes the causation of other crimes. You're trans too. I mean, it doesn't matter if you're trans or gay. What matters is if that's the causation. I have friends that are gay and trans, and they don't hurt people. So whether you're gay, trans, straight, male, female, black, yellow, green, Hispanic, pink, white, none of that matters. What matters is you hurt somebody. You did it on purpose. You did it in Oklahoma. You sought and derived benefit from the state of Oklahoma. And we've proven that and proven that and proven that and proven that. And that's why you wouldn't let me in court on anything, even Mike's trial. So the more you fuck with me, the more we get. And I guess now you talk to my former neighbor, Angelo. Yep, he was put in prison for something, and I caught it. And you guys, how did you never asked her how she knew? No, to this day I don't know how she knew. Yeah, so we found out about that too. And he didn't ask me. He didn't ask me how I found out something was wrong. And something was wrong, and I caught it. And it caused a big blow up in the whole neighborhood. The neighbors were really, really mean to me. Like, how dare I say such mean things about such a very nice guy. But then, a few months later, everybody's apologizing to me. We almost went to jail with him because he put us on some corporation as an officer of the corporation that was a fraud. We almost went to prison with him. We should have just listened to you. Yep, you should have. So, we'll leave it at that. Now, the more you mess with me, the more we get. The more you mess with me, the more we get. It's been the same thing since the McNamara email 7 years ago. It doesn't take any normal human being more than a time or two to spot a pattern. Now, why you guys can't do it after 7 years every fucking day, it doesn't get any more mental slow than you. So embarrassing that you're that stupid. It's so easy, it's not fair. And if this weren't a bigger case, there's other victims and other offenders, and you know that, right? Then you'd be in jail right now. And all I've asked you to do is fucking leave me alone. Leave me the fuck alone. Leave me the fuck alone. Don't contact my family. Don't go around taking pictures of me thinking that'll prove you're not stalking me. You are stalking me. And you got pictures to prove it. Get out of my wallet. Leave my family the fuck alone. I'm not going to take your bribe. Give back what you took from me. What you owe me. Legitimate and legally. And get out. Or my guys will do it for you through the normal legal process, okay? That's your choices. Do you want to do it or did you want them to? There's no other choice. You're not going to get a date with me, princess. I don't date gay guys. I don't date mean guys. I don't date peeping toms. Whether or not you're gay, I don't care. What I care about, you're invading my privacy against my will. I don't like that, and you do it anyway. That's not how you get cooperation even. What you're doing isn't even serving you. The more you do it to me, the more you get caught. Nobody understands who's so stupid they keep, here's your shovel, dig away. The more you try to cover up your crime when you do it to me, the more uncovered it gets. You're as dumb as it gets. Don't cry and whine about being called names. That's not the problem. The problem is we got a dead cop whose family doesn't have a dad now. My kids have been through hell because of you. My family's had conflict we wouldn't have were it not for you causing it. I have a kid that I don't know what to do with him because you fucked his head up so bad he didn't know what to think. Right? Would you like somebody to do that to your children? What do you tell your children you're doing when you're bothering me and my family? If you'll lie to them and go into court and boldface lie over and over and over, even when you know we got cops on you and they're quoting the judge talking to you, and you do it anyway, it doesn't get any more stupid than that. It's so easy it is not even fair. And if you'll do it that boldly, you'll lie to anyone anywhere. So nobody believes you anymore, sir. You're full of shit. in the way, I mean, anybody that believes anything you say at this point needs to have somebody whack them on the back of the head to make the wires work right. I mean, you got to be as dumb as a brick. So at this point, you're just irritating. You're just fucking insulting intelligence and irritating people, Mr. Perry, Mr. Powell, Mr. Burson, Mr. Robertson, Calvin, Geppetto. Geppetto, you guys have Geppetto, you know, oh, we wanted you to cast a spell on her so she'll change her mind because Perry's not sexy. He's not interesting. He's a bizarre bore, lame, sits around watching women in the privacy of their house he can never have, bothering them. Has nothing interesting to talk about. We all know what we did all day. We already know what we did all day. You know, if you go out, if you go fucking work, you might become interesting. Talk about what you did at your work. But that's not what you do. You bother and 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 bother. And then my guys get all mad. Everybody gets mad. You know, people don't like crime and they don't like suffering. I just showed you a poll. So we don't have a problem getting information, you do. We don't have leaks, you do. Because people are angry at y'all. All of you. All of you. So you called in a witch. You got that, you stooped to that. And the witch is like, I think she's got so many angels around her, I can't get through. Well, yeah, probably. I pray a lot. So, you know, I don't burn sage, Geppetto. I don't have any. I don't have a place to live. So they did take my house. But I know one thing about God. If he allows something like that to happen, he's got a good plan with that. Look at Joseph. I've been over the story of Joseph over and over and over and over and over. He was promised, your brothers won't bully you anymore. They will bow to you. And he goes back out thinking, this is the day in my backyard, my brothers and I are going to play, and they'll finally be nice to me and they'll bow to me. And he has this new coat, and they sold him into slavery. They almost killed him. And I'm sure he's thinking, this is not what you said, God, was going to happen. I'm in slavery. But he's away from his brothers. They're not bullying him anymore. And in that slavery, he learns how to run a household. And then the wife hits on him, kind of like you're doing to me, disgusting. And he said no. And she accuses him falsely of a crime, rape, kind of like you did to me. You're Potiphar's wife in this deal, you sicko. And he ends up in jail, but he's put in charge of product distribution, where he learns how to manage and distribute product in jail. And then the Pharaoh has a dream, and Joseph comes in to interpret the dream. He had a gift. God gave him a gift of interpreting dreams. There's 7 fat cows and 7 skinny cows, 7 healthy sheaves of wheat, and 7 puny ones. What does that mean? We're going to have 7 years of feasting and prosperity and 7 years of famine. So during the years of feasting and prosperity, save the food so that during the 7 years of famine you can feed your people. And he says, you're the second in command of Egypt. Keep in mind, at the time, Egypt is one of the most powerful countries in the world. Puts him second in command. Boom. All of a sudden, everything changed. And God kept his word. And his brothers come looking for food and bow before him. He had to leave the room to go cry. Finally, he did it. This is it right here. I've had those moments. It'll take you to your knees. You can't hardly breathe. You're overwhelmed with just this awe of, wow, God's glory. Here it is. Here's the thing. God had a plan of, they're not going to do something lame, like bow to you in the damn backyard. They're going to bow to you in a palace. I think bigger than you. So he let you take my house, I promise you. He's got a good plan with that. And I didn't give up on God. I'm going, well, okay, there's going to be a plan with that. It's going to be a palace moment for me and my family and my children and my grandbaby that you tried to use as bait. She's going to get to have a life without you in it. Do you understand? That's the way that's going to be. And my ex-husband is going to grow up or not. We're going to have a Reba situation where everybody gets along and everybody supports what's best for my kids and my grandkids, or we're not going to have anything at all. That's how that's going to be, and I've told him that before, and I fucking meant it. I fucking meant it. It doesn't help when you're calling him all the time. Try to do this, try to get her that, do that. Do you know all that time I knew? You guys told him to get the vacuum cleaner because you wanted my hair and shit, which is weird. That's weird. I knew you told him to get the stuff from Victoria's Secret because you sell more online. You got your online peep show. The witness says he puts cameras in women's homes against their will without their knowledge and consent. She's the first one that found out he was doing that and sells watch time on the dark web. And I wasn't selling as much, so you had him get me better underwear. Yeah, I knew. I knew it when he did it. Oil viscosity. Get her the wrong oil viscosity. Or try to ruin her car. I knew about it all that time. I knew about it all that time. I know how to watch and keep my mouth shut to get the evidence I want to get. Because my granddaughter's going to have a life without you in it, whether I see her again or not. Whether I ever see her, ever. That's how that's going to be, princess, cuckoo bird. Now go call everybody and tell them how you're a victim. Because I got pissed off at you blowing up my life, and I called you a name. Ooh, poor you. You poor little thing. Everybody will feel sorry for you, I'm sure. They'll go hug you and give you a tissue. Why don't you act like a man? So my guys are like, you know, a man takes care of his family. My ex-wife did a great job raising my kids. I had to work a lot, and I wasn't around sometimes when I should have been. My kids are grown now. They're doing good. So if she needs something, I don't want my kids to get upset because she's needing something. I take care of it. And my new wife wouldn't have it any other way. That's why she fell in love with me, because I took care of my family. It is what a man does. So when this is over, your ex-husband and I are going to have a come to Jesus talk about how you treat women, especially your family. Now, I have a relative whose wife just left him. This is different. I can see why he wouldn't do that for her. I would be just like him. This is different. My ex-husband and I didn't have that kind of breakup. I didn't just leave him. There was no affairs, nothing like that. He did something I couldn't live with. He knows that. So, for him to act like he's acted is mind-blowing. But we know you provoked it. And you don't call a kid and, you know, emotionally dump on a child. There's certain things you use filters. I don't need to tell my kid this. It's none of his business anyway. He needs to be focused on starting his life. He just got out of college. So he's all upset because you're using him. He goes and gets drunk and gets thrown out of a bar and they break his arm. There's the thing. It's perfectly fine to throw somebody out of a bar. You don't get to break bones and shit. So I hope he sues the crap out of those people. I told him to file an assault charge against the man. It's fine to throw somebody out of a bar. It's not fine to break bones. So why is he in that situation? Why is he self-medicating that way? If you're causing a child upset like you've caused my child, as much as you've caused my child, that might cause that, which means my guys are going to kick your ass particularly hard in court. Okay? Get ready for it. Get ready for it. All of you. Stay away from my family. Stay away from my ex-husband. Stay away from my kids. Nobody's bothering your family or your kids. We can, though. Believe me. We can. Go tell them everything you've done. It's going to happen in court anyway. So you tell us, would you like us to do it now or in court? Leave everybody the fuck alone. Do you understand? Nobody bothers you. Why are you up here bothering me? Leave us the fuck alone. And gosh, that's what LoreeBoree says.
How does this make you feel? You're filming my father and my fucking sister. How does this make you
Is that
feel?
the one that put all those scratches on your arm? You want to see the
Scratches?
I'm a stalker. I get pictures of you to prove it.
I can show you the pictures
want you to leave my family fucking alone.
Keep hanging outside of there.
Hit the road. Dude, I promise you, you're gonna get yours and you're
I don't
gonna
give a fuck. You can bring whoever the fuck you want.
That's okay. You're
You
gonna
can bring
Is
the
that
whole
a
fucking
threat?
army. I don't give a fuck.
How does this make you feel?
Okay, so to wrap this up, out of all these 13 years, you never get a date. I won't even talk to you on the phone. But we get more and more and more. You get told on and caught and told on and caught. So how is that even serving you? You dumb son of a bitch. How is that even serving you? You want to do it again tomorrow? Fine. We'll take all the evidence you want to give us. Don't worry about my car having a bumper sticker or not. It's none of your business. It's not your business at all. You don't know that it doesn't have a bumper sticker. So whoever said that, what the fuck? And, go into court, Mr. Perry, and explain to the judge how there are no cops. No one will tell you a fucking thing. It's the Roswell aliens and the shapeshifters giving us all, like the McNamara email and the Fabian puzzle, and Mike was drugged and telling me what Gene Mitchell's argument was going to be before he made it. Do that. Tell the judge, whichever one, was it Parker? Go tell him tomorrow what you just said and how I need to get in reality. How many I told you so's did you want to give me? I mean, I'll take as many as you want to give me. I mean, this is outrageous. It's absolutely outrageous. Otherwise, you're going to leave us alone, or my guys will do it for you. That's your choice. You do it or they do it. All right? Now go whine and tell everybody how I called you Princess Cuckoo Bird again. Poor thing, you. Never mind the Miller family, the Neely family, my family. It's all about you got called Cuckoo Bird. Poor thing. I don't know how you lived through it.
Leave me alone! Please!
Just talk to me for 2 minutes.
First, let me say that I'm happy that the lady in this video is okay. Second, let me break down what rape culture is. Rape culture is the fact that that man felt that he was entitled to some of this woman's time just because he said, let me talk to you for 2 minutes. Doesn't matter if it's 2 minutes, 5 minutes, 20 minutes. If she said no, no means no. Rape culture is the comments that she has on her video about how she should have just spoke to him or dressed differently. Rape culture is me taking the heat for calling out other men for their terrible behavior. Rape culture is trying to explain stuff as, oh, it's just locker room talk. No, it's not locker room talk. You should talk the same way wherever you are. We all know that rape is not about sex, it's about power. So for you to force yourself on somebody, even if you're just talking to them, is disgusting, dude.
Steph got been raping you.
Leave me alone! Please!
Just talk to me for 2 minutes.
First, let me say that I'm happy that the lady in this video is okay. Second, let me break down what rape culture is. Rape culture is the fact that...
How does this make you feel? You're filming my father and my fucking sister. How does this make you feel?